Hey folks, this is Ben Yussel. How's it going? Because this is kind of a subject that's kind of a hot button topic right now, and you guys are probably curious as to what I think about that subject a bit more. Or maybe you are, I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. But again, you don't have to watch this if you don't want to. Many of us are very turned off by politics anyway. Yes, having to do with the Trump impeachment process. So I'm just going to get some obvious stuff out of the way right off the bat. Some really obvious stuff. Okay. First off, of course, in the last video, I was talking about taxes and things, and I'm pretty sure I'll be okay. I'll survive on Monday. I'll be okay. Just, that was not a pleasant experience at all. Okay, getting back to Trump. But first, I'm going to talk about what I know about why he's being impeached. And I'm going to clarify what I actually know versus what I've heard. Because in politics, 99% of the time, what we hear is rumors and news. 1% of the time, it's actually real, true. And the news doesn't really always communicate what's actually really happening, in my opinion. Because it just is not, the news, in my opinion, is not trustworthy. It isn't. Mainstream news, at least. So this is what I know about Trump, for sure. This is not even guessing. There's no conjecture, nothing. This is what I know about Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump inherited a lot of money from his dad. He had a real estate business. There were some other businesses that he had that didn't do well, but he did very, very well in his real estate business. He's been elected to be president in 2016. And I guess he's considered to be a. I can't say yes. I have to say I know this stuff, but he's this. This is for sure. He's considered a populist. He's also been compared to Biff Tannen on Back to the Future, right? Or they based Biff Tannen's personality character on Donald Trump. Donald Trump, in his life, has been a bully. He's mistreated women. He is not a virtuous person, in my opinion. But it's also fairly, some things are more obvious in that regard. Trump is a Republican simply because thought it'd be more advantageous to him. I don't see him as being a true conservative or true Republican, despite what many people think. But there's enough conjecture already in there. These are just the things I know. And then he had a Celebrity Apprentice show, and that he and this other lady, what's her name? Not Roseanne Barr, the other lady. This other lady that they had this big feud a while back, and Trump has often been in the tabloids in the past because of extramarital affairs or divorces or settlements or whatever. That's what I know about Trump. And I also know that someone has come out with a video saying that there's two different Trumps. And there's a black guy a while back. I can't remember his name. Now, this is what I've heard. I don't know for sure about Trump. I've heard quite a lot of negativity about him, whether it was for reasons already mentioned or for many, many other reasons that were maybe just some folks are very liberal or, Democrats or whatever, or some people just couldn't stand him, or I don't know what. But I've heard a lot of personal attacks on him. I've also heard a lot of things that are more in the political realm or just political things that people don't like. But I've heard a lot of both, of course. I heard a lot of both about Obama as well. And this is a trend that's been increasing over the years, by the way. And so politics is getting uglier. Even if I'm an adult compared to when I was a kid, I still think politics are getting uglier. These are all things I've heard. I've also heard that Russia interfered in the 2016 elections to get Trump elected. I've heard actually, this is more of an I know a lot more folks in the Rust Belt or the Midwest voted for Trump because everybody was very unhappy with either the economy or with the military or with Obamacare or something. A lot of folks were fed up with Obama, and that's why Trump was elected. Um, so, but Russia made a. This is opinion. I don't know this for sure. Russia may have interfered in like Facebook and online stuff, and just interfered in elections in general. And then I've also heard this is just a rumor that Ukraine is involved somehow as well. So Eastern Europe seems to be pro Republicans or pro conservatives for whatever reason right now. And I guess this is because Hillary Clinton was very anti-Putin or something. Again, this is more what I've heard. This is probably more in the range of this is definitely true because Hillary Clinton was going to really come down on Putin pretty hard. So she was elected president. That much I remember. That's still all that stuff. So that's more in the range of I know for sure Hillary was going to come down on Putin. So then Putin was like, I don't want this to happen. So that's why they were going for Trump. But that's conjecture. But it seems very possible that that was the case. So a lot of this is getting back some time in the past. This was a long time ago, 4 years ago almost. Or quite, 3 or 4 years ago. And there's so many other things that I've heard about Trump that are, I just don't know for sure. The reason I'm trying to separate what I know for sure from conjecture is because, again, a lot of folks in politics get the two confused. We don't know for sure a lot of things. We can say, I know this for sure. You can say, I really suspect this is true. This is probably true, right? But we don't know for sure. And then there's also, it's just my opinion, right? I suspect, but I'm not super behind it. Or there's a whole spectrum of how much someone believes something is true. It's not just one or the other. It's not just yes or no. And so I mention all this because we have Trump being in the process of being impeached. First off, I just want to say this. As of this video, Saturday, December 21st, 2019, Donald J. Trump has only been impeached by the House. He has not been impeached by the Senate. Let me repeat. He has not been impeached by the Senate. His impeachment is not official. It has not happened yet. In order for a U.S. president to be impeached, they have to be impeached by both the House of Representatives and the Senate. Donald J. Trump has been impeached by the House of Representatives, but not the Senate. By the way, two other presidents have been impeached by the House of Representatives. Bill Clinton, and I think the other one was it Andrew Johnson or something? Because Richard Nixon resigned before he went through all that process. So Nixon was up for whatever, but no, he jumped ship, he bailed. So, 3 presidents in history have been impeached by the House of Representatives. Yeah, I'll say that again. Only 3 U.S. presidents have been impeached by the House of Representatives. No one, and I do mean no one, has ever been officially impeached. No U.S. president has ever been impeached by the Senate. So officially impeached, like as in booted out. And the vice president automatically becomes president. Now, in the case of Nixon, he resigned. So then Gerald Ford became president. That's the only time it's ever happened in history when a U.S. president resigned. Nixon resigned. So no U.S. president has ever been impeached before. None. No one. And so if Donald Trump gets impeached by the Senate, this is the first time this has ever happened in U.S. history. Okay? So, what are my thoughts about this a little bit more? Well, we certainly have had a better economy, in my estimation, since Donald Trump has been taking the presidency. But I'm a conservative, so I often believe that economies do better with more conservative presidencies, especially with Reagan. Also, more especially with Trump. And Trump, I've seen the unemployment numbers, and they're very, very low. You would think that there's no way that Trump would be impeached, but Trump is being impeached not because it has nothing to do with the economy or anything like that. It only has to do with, did Russia or Ukraine interfere with the U.S. elections? That's it. As far as I know, that's why Trump is going through this whole process. It has nothing to do with how good of a president he is at all. It only has to do with, did he work with Russia or Ukraine? What are the two? I can't remember which one. To win the presidency way back in 2016. And I guess it's I've seen videos where it's been said, oh yeah, we have the information. We would not move ahead with this unless we had the information. So to me, this seems pretty legit. I've never said before that I thought Donald Trump was a honest person or a virtuous person at all. I've never said he was an upstanding, upright person, a man of integrity. Donald Trump is not Calvin Coolidge. He's not Dwight Eisenhower. Right? It's not Reagan. The man is shady. He's a shady guy. So, yeah, I can definitely see where he may be suspect. I suspected that when I heard all that stuff coming out. I knew that Donald Trump run. I knew he won fair and square. What we didn't know was when, like, obviously other countries trying to convince people to elect Trump. We don't know. Was it a Facebook thing or was it something else like that? We just don't know. But there was definitely a lot more support for Trump, again, in the middle of the country, the Rust Belt, Midwest, the blue collar areas, the industrial areas, right? There's a lot more support for Trump in those areas than a lot of people suspected otherwise. We always have a lot of people vote Democrat on the coasts and some in the interior, like maybe Minnesota or something, or Michigan, Detroit stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, basically most of the whole interior of the country was all red when Trump was elected. And I was like, yeah, all right. But, I didn't know. I mean, I saw a lot of things happening that you tend to not see happening with elections. Is it like the motorcycle rally supporting Trump? Yeah, all right, yeah, go Republicans, right? You saw a lot of course, the Christian conservative, whatever, that's always to be expected, but there are a lot of other elements that were very pro-Trump. And I did hear from a little bit from Eastern Europe, and the vibe was always more pro-Republican than it was Democrat. So, yeah, to me, it makes a lot of sense. But will he be impeached? Now, this is my feeling on this. Now, I say this again as a conservative Republican, even though I tend to still be nonpartisan. I don't think Trump will be impeached. I do not think he will be impeached. I know a lot of liberals, Democrats, and others that are actually Republican conservative want Trump impeached, but definitely a lot of Democrats and liberals, obviously. And there's a lot of reasons why, but no, he's not. He will not be impeached, in my opinion, because the Senate right now is majority Republican. For one thing, yeah, majority Republican. And they're the jury, and of course the cherry on top, which is Chief Justice Roberts, is he should be nonpartisan, right? Well, I don't know. I mean, I could still see it going the other way. Actually, tell you the truth, but um, I've always thought that the question comes down to how much did Russians interfere with the 2016 elections, or Ukrainians, or whatever. I don't know. How much did they interfere? And at what point is is it considered illegal? Uh, if it's just people talking. So I also, to be perfectly honest with you guys, I don't fully understand or online media. I don't understand at what point does it become illegal? Uh, if you are, say you're someone that you're not online, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. Um, if you say you're American but you're Russian or Ukrainian and you're just you're being paid by the government or I don't know what, it, it, you know, I would imagine that's illegal, but I don't understand. I don't fully understand that area of law, but I imagine that would probably be illegal. Yeah. So um, the question is how many people would it take for that whole thing to be impeachable for Trump? I don't know. None of these things have been discussed in media. None of these things have. I'm just kind of crawling in the dark here. As I mentioned with the taxes, that's often how it's been in the past. I'm crawling in the dark with this subject even more. At least I have H&R Block to help me with my taxes. So, but yeah. So it's anybody's guess what's going to happen. But I suspect that he will not be impeached. Again, let me repeat. I suspect that Trump will not be impeached because the Senate is majority Republican. I think that's the main reason. He's been a very effective president, as far as I can tell, with the economy and everything, and with all things regarding the United States and furthering our power and awesomeness in the world. But that's just a lot of it's just hope. It's not. I don't know. I definitely know more about the economy. I can say the economy is in better shape. But then again, a lot of conservative policies do that anyway. And that's the efforts of a lot of people, not just Trump. Yeah. So that's about the best I can tell you guys right now. Again, Trump is not impeached. You have very irresponsible people, very very irresponsible people, in my opinion, online that are already saying that he actually is impeached. Well, he's not impeached. He's only half impeached. He's only halfway there. He's only been impeached by the House of Representatives, not the Senate. So, I think was it Jimmy Kimmel? Jimmy Kimmel has some great qualities, but then again, some not so great qualities, and he's come out and said he's impeached. Well, Kimmel, you should know better. No, he's not impeached. You're just putting that on the title so you can get more views, or you can somehow confuse people or get people going on the subject. Well, he's not impeached, folks. He's not impeached. As of December 21st, 2019, Donald J. Trump is not impeached. No, he's not. He has to be impeached by the Senate. Now, here's my thing. I don't know how long it'll take before this happens. Trump is pushing for a quick whatever trial. I just don't know when this is going to happen. And we have, again, elections coming up in November 5th, this next year. I imagine if that happens, if the impeachment trial happens, it'll be well before that time. But I have no way of knowing that. This doesn't happen very often in the United States. So that's, again, the best I can tell you guys about the subject. This is what I know versus what I strongly suspect versus what I have heard. But, the rhetoric is, of course, from the Democrats, Democrats have always hated him. They've always wanted to. Yep, I know. I've heard the press. I've heard a lot of stuff. Yep. I'm not taking the Democrats' side. I'm just saying when it comes to things like interference of other nations in elections, it's also kind of naive to think that Trump was the only one that had this happen to him. I I can guarantee you guys that other nations have also interfered in other elections. We just don't know about those interferences. And the funny thing is, even with in Nixon's case, being caught, the people working for Nixon being caught and whatever, looking for files and things. My suspicion, my hunch is that if a president messes up, if they do something afoul of what the Illuminati wants them to do, if they go some other direction, they either get assassinated or they get impeached or they get wounded or hurt or something. They get whatever happens. They're made to get in line, or they're made to stand in line. They're made to say, you're just a puppet. They remind you guys, you're just puppets, right? That's my overall feeling here. Because, well, my hunch again is Trump all went along with the Illuminati, what the Illuminati wanted. He always has. But he has acknowledged their existence. He tried to downplay it as being like not a big deal, but also saying that, yeah, and I've seen the speech, right? So he's trying to work with the powers that be, and he must have done something to upset them. And that's why this is happening. Why is it that none of the other presidents have ever had this stuff happen to them? Why is it just Trump? Or why is it just Nixon? Well, the Illuminati, if the Illuminati controls the world, if they control everything, they also control the news. And they control what information leaks out to the world. Or the news. They can control everything. They can also control how we think about presidents, independent of our own, whatever, intuition. Yeah, folks. Yes. That's a big yes. This is my opinion, of course. But that's what I suspect is going on. Trump did something to really upset the Illuminati, or he did something that we didn't like. So now he's paying the price by having to go through all this crud. I hope I'm wrong. I sincerely hope I'm wrong. I sincerely hope that we still have our two-party system, just like I've always been told when I was growing up and in the school. I sincerely hope that all this has just been one big nightmare about the Illuminati. I really do. Because, gosh, wouldn't it be great to just, I would love to be able to go back to that. Oh, it's just Democrats versus Republicans. It's just, nope. No, it's not. No. There's a reason why nothing ever changes in the United States, is in terms of how people are doing. There's a reason why the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. Yep. You heard it from me, folks. Probably also heard it from a lot of other folks as well. Anyway, that's my take on the Trump trials. I'm not saying he's a saint. I probably talked more about what I didn't like about him. But maybe there's a lot of things that at least I hope that he has in his character. I hope he's patriotic. I hope he's somewhat chaste, somewhat loyal to his wife. I don't know about that, but I hope he's got some other qualities that are great. I don't know. And Reagan said some stuff once that was against the Illuminati, and he got shot at. Kennedy was straight up killed by the Illuminati because of his speech. Everyone says, that was about Russia, right? That wasn't about the Illuminati. No, that was actually about the Illuminati. That speech was about the Illuminati. When he's talking about vast human resources, we are, well, the speeches are probably still online by both Reagan and Kennedy. And Trump as well. So, there you go. Will he be impeached? Probably not. Probably not. But he may be. Of all the presidents that have ever been impeached by the House of Representatives, Trump has still, in my opinion, the one that's most likely to be impeached. Because Russia likes to kind of operate outside the rules. So you have to think not only in terms of what Trump wants and how he operates, but also you need to think about how Russia operates. Historically and now. Yeah. Yep. And it doesn't matter. You can love Russia or hate Russia or whatever between. I think Russia's great. I love Russian people, but We're talking about the Kremlin here. We're talking about, a Russian president that did not want Hillary Clinton in office. Period. So, all right, leaving the thoughts comments below. Catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.